Art of the mind's destiny and or fate, as in outcomes. The third of 7 lessons in relation to the mental body. As one consciously contemplates this, and as one would meditate, you should know what thou art seeking, which is, of course, not nothing but something to begin with, right? What is your ideal? What would you like thy mind, body, and life to be like? Remember, it always becomes that which one feeds upon. Good food that makes you healthy and strong, or quite the opposite if given a poor diet, weak and frail. And the same goes when it comes to what one feeds their thoughts, as in, are they constructive or destructive? By way of what is consumed and assimilated, by activity of the mind, by the atomic influences and radial forces of one's surroundings. Within every and all spheres of experience you find yourself in. Granted, sometimes it's confusing trying to analyze or make sense of where the source of an impulse comes from and whence it's meant to lead, whether it comes from mental activities or some indefinite spiritual source. The resultant difficulty likely being due to the difference between it being interpreted as a physical necessity or spiritual import of given impulse. And the answer is found through discernment of that which has been and is set in motion. And it's about what one does with what one knows that brings the most growth and development, or ignorance thereof, which results in unsought tests, trials, and tribulations that follow incorrect or wrong decisions in need of correction. Pure and simple. Therefore, set your ideal in that which is creative and uplifting, as shown by way of example after example in every aspect of creation. Not just a belief, but a tried and true knowing. For whether the first impulse to move be from a mindful, material, or spiritually inclined aspect, each are ever portions of one's activities in the present moment and moments to come. It's about embodying fearless leadership with a venerable warrior spirit and mentality for good measure. Yea, one can never hide nor run from oneself, so might as well embrace the conundrum. At least you will learn something in the precious process, most ideally speaking. To be sure, we are a and or the triune spoken of in doctrine. Indeed, one's mental, physical, spiritual bodies are one with your soul. They are seamlessly interwoven and yet act in their own spheres of activity with their own attributes, ideals, and precepts. And what is found in the physical is a material manifestation of spiritual concern, built or shorn by the mental aspect of mind's free will alone. And when ideals are built upon a spiritual foundation thus do they become everlasting. Whereas if they're constructed from a standpoint of material import, those ideals will nevertheless change with the various environments and outlooks under various seasons of sowing to fruition of same. The harvest of which may either be an immediate bounty or a reckoning which must be dealt with, if not sooner or later in another lifetime, when a just price can be paid to balance the scales and set things aright in the experiences of one's life. Before we even contemplated there was a beginning, if there even is one. The fact that so-called heaven and earth were already long since here is undeniable. And yet we're told, as the mind of creation moved, so too did matter form substance and us into being simultaneously. all spoken into existence with intentional words acted upon, as we too so do with our minds, as proven again and again, that mind is ever the builder of results. In and of itself, mind is both mental and physical in nature, the expression and movement of which manifests things that become physical, while mindfulness, which is expressed without taking form, is simply of spirit. And yet, it may become manifest in the experience of individuals nevertheless. Just consider what countless masters of yore to this day have dispensed and displayed. And while spirit or spiritual is ever the ideal, mind continues to function, whether or not embodied in some other way, shape, fashion, or form, as it always has and ever shall, right? Therefore, mind is the moving force and intangible influence which promotes all growth and development, both within us as well as all around you, that makes expression in materiality possible, albeit via ethereal mechanisms totally unseen and wholly unseeable, and yet ever presently here and now. This is the ways and means of creation's evolution, meaning, as ye think, so art thou, constructively built or summarily torn down, and yet always headed in the right direction. See? With all due respect and high regards to the body's destiny when it comes to material things, yes, as one eats and drinks, so too is the physical person poisoned or made whole. Yes, just as that which one continually thinks or dwells upon is surely what becomes of one. For such is the structure of the subconsciousness. It knows not anyone other than self. That which is directed at another is actually targeting self, not them. In essence, one destines the growth and development of subsequent experiences in one's life via intention, thus fulfilling whatever purpose is given attention, or quite the opposite, as many a case may be. In other worldly words, watch what you think and wish for. Recognize this: 'tis not by a single thought one instantly changes this or that. This ain't no fantasy nor Hollywood movie. Change is rendered and wrought by one's customary or habitual thinking patterns, which constantly build upwards or downwards. How else is completion accomplished if not most constructively sought? There's no reason why one can't be of the earth and live as the material spiritual being thou art. For the gift of free will was bestowed upon us all at the dawn of creation. And you have a mind of your own, collectively interconnected to all others betwixt and between too. Each and every entity endowed with the power to use the same force of source and the infinite mind to either abuse self or find sublime attunement with all of creation itself, whilst still being yourself.